Hey everybody, welcome back to another Deck Profile Friday. Yes, we're back to these. So today I'm going to be showing off the deck that I've been playing for the past, month and a half, 2 months or so. And I will say it is the best version of this deck, right? There is no other version that you could show me that is better than the way that this thing is built, right? I believe that this is the best version, and I believe it's the best version because of the matchups it has versus everything else, right? It basically has a winnable matchup, right? At least a 50-50 on everything but Charizard, right? And I'm going to go through, in the deck profile on why that is, right? Why is it so good? So without further ado, let's get into it. The deck that I'm talking about is Miraidon, right? A super popular deck, with the, pre-rotation when, obviously the E block was still in there, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Celebrations, and Fusion Strike. It's pretty popular, but then it obviously just dropped off. However, I think that, with all those cards rotating, like Battle VIP Pass and Mew, right, and, some of the other, big cards, right, I think with those leaving, it has made this deck, a lot easier to play, as it can definitely keep up with the speed, right? And that's the big thing, right? Is speed, right? I used to play Mew VMax a lot, pretty much leading up to rotation for like the past probably the 3-4 months prior to rotation. And I feel like in terms of a deck that's fast, I feel like this deck pretty much can match that speed currently. So, but it ain't just a regular Miraidon deck. It's not those typical versions where you just play Miraidon and Mew EX and a bunch of other attackers and stuff like that, right? I'm playing mine with Regieleki VMax, and this card here is absolutely gold. Like, it is so good, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. So, to start, we got triple Miraidon, right? You need 3, right? There's no way around it, right? It's way too good not to have, and I'll get into it in a second. 3 Regieleki VMax. Put these like that. Right? Way too good. And then lastly, we got the 3 Regieleki V. So this here is basically the mainstay of the deck, right? The core of the deck, it pretty much revolves around these cards. So Miraidon there, 220 HP, 1 retreat, no resistance, weakness to fighting. Basically, the whole deck is weak to fighting, which is a great type to have in this current format, as there is not a lot of fighting Pokemon being played. Ever since Rapid Strike Urshifu left, fighting pretty much just fell off the face of the earth, right? But it's going to be coming back in Twilight Masquerade there with the new Greninja EX, so that'll be definitely problematic, right? This can definitely still see play. If Greninja becomes, like a tier 0 deck like Charizard does, then you're going to have a lot of problems. You're probably not going to want to play this just because you just get knocked out really easy, right? Tandem unit there. You can search your deck for 2 basic lightning Pokemon and put them onto your bench and then shuffle your deck. So it's really good. It's built-in Battle VIP Pass, Buddy Poffin, right? And typically, if you're able to get one in play, right? If you start with it, right, you grab another, grab a Miraidon and a Pokemon. And then the second Miraidon, right, you grab 2 other Pokemon, and then you got 1 space left, which is really good, you know, just in case if you want to play that Squawkabilly, or if you drew into an extra Pokemon and you're, you know, when you played like a research or something, or if you got a nest ball in your hand, right, you get that extra bench spot full. That's pretty good. Regieleki V there, so 200 HP, 1 retreat, no resistance, weakness to fighting, just 20 less HP than Miraidon. Its first attack, Switching Bolt, 1 lightning, does 30, and you can switch it, so that's pretty cool. The other attack, right, is actually not too bad. Lightning Wall. 1 lightning, 2 colorless, does 100 damage, and then damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon is reduced by 100 during their next turn. So this is actually pretty good, right? It's definitely, you know, a great card to have, but it's mainly there to go into the VMax, right? You know, the VMax is absolutely amazing. I love it in here. 310 HP, no retreat cost. It's free retreat, yes it is, right? No resistance, weakness to fighting again. It is worth 3 prizes, but, you know, like I said, right, you know, fighting Pokemon aren't being played right now. But it's mainly there for its ability Transistor, right? So Transistor, you know, each basic Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And this is absolutely insane. And the reason why it is because with 2 of those in play, you're adding an additional 60 damage. With 3 in play, you're adding 90, right? Think about the numbers that you hit with this deck, right? Miraidon, with 2 in play, you hit 280, right? That 280, right, knocks out all the V-stars. Arceus V-star, right? Dialga V-star. Giratina V-star, right? It hits Palkia and Lugia V-star for weakness. This whole deck does, right? So any Palkia deck, it smokes. Any Lugia deck, it smokes, right? All the V-stars are absolutely no match for this, right? With the Miraidon there, when you hit that with 3 there, with that 310, you knock out a Gardevoir EX in 1 shot, right? So that's another really good reason to have it, right? With 2 Elekis and attacking with Miraidon with a maximum build, you're hitting that magic number of 330, which knocks out Charizard EX. So there's a lot of good things Regieleki VMax does for this deck, right? And not to mention, you know, one of the other things too is with Regieleki, it is actually pretty bulky, right? 310 HP right now in a format that, you know, doesn't really do a whole lot of one-hit KOs, right? Other than Cinccino and, you know, obviously I think Goldango does it, right? Which is not really being played much. And then Giratina V-Star with Star Requiem, right? Most of the decks can't really one-hit KO, right? Which is pretty good because it allows it to take a hit with the VMax, right? And that's another a way that you actually can beat Charizard is just by cycling through your Regieleki VMaxes, right? And just knocking their Charizards out, right? You also hit Pidgeot for weakness, right? Which is really good. So, yeah, that's that's pretty much like the main reason why you play those there. So, Miraidon's another really good. So it's a really good attacker too against pretty much anything with 220 HP, right? Qian Pao is really good. Yeah, so it hits it exactly. You know, all the base Vs it hits. Future box is a little bit tougher, right? Roaring Moon as well, right? Because it's got that extra 10 HP. Is at 230, right? Iron Hands and Roaring Moon EX at 230. So, with one Regieleki VMax, you hit that 250 mark, which obviously knocks out the Iron Hands and the Roaring Moon, right? So it just makes makes you able to one-hit KO things a lot easier. So absolutely fantastic. But we got more here, right? There's more attackers than just this, right? Which we're going to get into right now. So the other main, well, I guess they're not main. The other attackers in the deck are, we got a pair of Iron Hands. It's really good. It's too good. We got two Raikou V, right? I am not a fan of Raichu in this deck. I don't think you need it, right? I think Raichu actually slows you down, right? This isn't the Dynamotor version, right? With a Dynamotor version, I can see you playing it, right? But the energy cost to get it, charged up, right? To get it charged up with all that energy, it's just too high to do what you want to do with it, right? Whereas Regieleki, it's, it gives you 3 prizes, but, it's, adds damage to your basic Pokemon, right? It allows you to one-shot things. It's got free retreat, right? And it's also a decent attacker into, other decks, right? So you can 2-shot them, right? So don't play the Raichu. I'm not a fan of it, but yeah, we got Iron Hands here, 230 HP, 4 retreat cost, no resistance, and weakness to fighting. Arm Press, right? It's a good, it's a decent attack, right? You can 2-hit KO a lot of things with it, right? You can 2-hit KO pretty much all the V stars, right? You can 2-hit KO a Gardevoir EX. You can't 2-hit KO a Charizard, right? But just as it is. But if you have, those Regieleki VMaxes out, right, then you're able to 2-shot a Charizard pretty easily, right? One Regieleki VMax as well. You're able to just knock out a Lugia V-Star with Ampy very much, right? So you take 3 prizes on that, which is really awesome, right? You just need to knock out 2 of them, then you have game, right? Then you got all 6 prizes, right? Lugia matchup is just absolutely, insane. It's so good for you. Yeah. So both of those attacks are pretty good. Raikou V is a really good attacker, especially with Chien-Pao, right? Both decks are playing full benches, right? So you're hitting that 220 mark, right? It's two energies to attack, right? So it's easy to get it into play. You're able to fleet-footed, right, which nets you an extra card, right? Yeah, just a really good card. I really like 2 Raikou V in here, so pretty cool. And then lastly, we got 3 more Pokemon, right, in the deck. We got a Mew EX, right? Another really good card. It definitely helps in your Lost Zone matchups and LostTina, right? Lost Box and LostTina matchups, just because you're able to genome hacking that Radiant Greninja, right? And get that Moonlight Shuriken damage to knock out things, which is cool. You got a Squawkabilly EX, right? Oh, and by the way, from you, got that restart ability, not Poke Power. I was going to say that, which lets you draw 3 cards, draw up to till you have 3 cards in your hand, right? So it's great for low hand sizes, which this deck can get. Squawkabilly there is just a nice little overextension, right? In the early game. Remember how I was talking about that 5th bench spot, right? Being kind of very flexible, right? You usually want, 2 Miraidon for sure in play, and then 2 to 3 Regieleki VMax, right? And then it's, if you choose 2, then you got another attacker. Well, that leaves 1 space open, and this is a nice, it's a good candidate, prime candidate for it, just to make sure you're able to get that set up. So, and then lastly, one of my favorite cards, and I think it's a really good card. We got a single copy of Thundurus, right? And I really like Thundurus just because of the amount of damage that it does for how many energy it has. I like it because of its adverse weather ability there, which is basically a built-in Manaphy when active. And then, even if it gets knocked out, right, it gives you your opponent 1 prize card, right, to where, after the attack, you can follow it up with something, get a respawn knockout, right? So, oftentimes what will happen is, like, they'll send up something big, like a Charizard. I'll just send up a Thundurus, right? And then just, like, knock it out, right? Or probably do damage to it. And then they'll knock it out, and then, just bring up something like a Miraidon and then knock their Charizard out, right? Or in the other order, bring up a Miraidon first, damage it. They knock it out, and then you're just like, oh, okay. I'm just going to respond with Thundurus and knock it out. So, yeah, really good card. I really like it. It's great for GLC too. So, yeah, pretty cool. And that is it for the Pokemon. Now on to the trainers, supporters, and stadiums. Supporters first. The best one in the game, like I've been saying, Professor's Research. We got 4 triple boss, right? This is a good deck for boss, right? It allows you to be a little bit more aggressive, which is definitely what you want to do here, right? Get those KOs when you can. We got 2 copies of Arven, right? Arven's really good because you're able to get a item card and a Pokemon tool. We play a lot of tools, so you definitely need Arven in here, right? And I think 2 is like basically the perfect number. I haven't found an issue with having or needing more than 2. I've been able to basically draw like what I need or find a way to get it, right? It's just like makes the perfect consistency. 1 Iono, right? Just a little bit of extra draw, right? And it's really good at the end of the game too when your opponent's taking a few prizes, right? Yeah, just a really good card. And then our stadium is Town Store. So, yeah, Town Store is really good, right? There's obviously, other stadiums that you could play, I'm really liking Lost City right now. That's a really good one. You can play, I probably wouldn't play Collapse Stadium. I don't really think you need it. I'm not really too sure what other stadiums are being played right now, right? Other than those, like I think Town Store and Artisan's not being played. Yeah, so probably just Town Store and Lost City. You could play Temple of Sinnoh, but there's a lot of decks using basic energies right now, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But yeah, I think those 2 are the best choices for this deck. And yeah, it searches out any tool that you need. Pretty cool. And that is it for the supporters and the stadium. Right, so now we're gonna go into the trainer cards, right? And the trainer cards I really love here in this deck. I think it's the perfect combination. We got 4 electric generator. This is how we power up things quickly. 4 Ultra Ball, right? It's basically our Regieleki VMax Searcher. 2 experience share, right? This is how we power up our Miraidons after a knockout. 2 Forest Seal stones, so I think you need 2. And I think you need 2 because it just makes it overall consistent, right? You got Arven to search for it. You got Town Store to search for it, right? And there's just so many links that Forest Seal stone can do for you, right? There's just so many links that it can do, and it's just an amazing card for this deck. So we play, obviously the Regieleki VMaxes and the Vs, and then the Raikou V, right? So we got basically 5 targets, right? Because the Regieleki VMaxes will evolve from the Vs, right? So basically 5 targets, right? And that's more than enough. So we got a Bravery Charm, right? So this card's kind of, I've been kind of thinking of it as a flex card, right? I'm not really too sure if it's needed, right? The one instance that I can see is after a Cramorant, Cramorant spit innocently, right? A Sableye using Lost Mine, right? Or Cramorant, attacking again, or 2 Lost Mines in a row, right? Would stop basically everything, like all your V, like your Regieleki V, your Miraidons, your Iron Hats, right, and your Raikous from getting knocked out, right? So, in that combination, right? So I think it's really good. A spec of choice is obviously Maximum Belt. I kind of alluded to that earlier, right? With its ability to get a perfect knockout on Charizard EX. 1 Nest Ball, right? So this card is absolutely gold. It's really gold. It's gold because, just with one, just with getting this card, right, I am able to basically set up my entire board. It's so easy to get Pokemon out in this deck with Miraidon, right? And, if you get that set up right, then you basically, won't really have a hard time, winning, right? It's basically, you'll win pretty easily, so. Rescue boards, and this card is really good too. Our highest retreat in the deck is obviously 4, right? But with Iron Hands, you're gonna be doing like, one of 2 things, right? You're never gonna have it on the bench, right? Just waiting. If you're gonna have it there, then it's probably going to be fully powered, because I ain't going to be benching an Iron Hands basically after the early stages of the game, right? So, yeah, your opponent will more than likely knock it out, right? And so what happens with that is you'll be left with mostly, 1 retreat or free retreaters. And so in that case, those 1 retreaters will basically get free retreats with this attached. So, and obviously it's searchable, right? There are times where I've Arvened, I've grabbed this card and the next card, which is a switch in the same turn, right? Just to make a play, and it's paid off, right? Arven for a tool, right? Get the tool, attach it to active, retreat it to bench, bring up, like, let's say a Raikou, right? Fleet-footed, get an electric generator, get the generator, play it, get 2 lightning, attach it to that Miraidon. You got 2 Regieleki VMax out, right? Switch the Raikou to Miraidon, boss's orders on the Giratina V-Star, knock it out, right, with Photon Blaster. Right, just from that play, it's a crazy play, and just a fantastic card. And then lastly, we got a Technical Machine Devolution, right? This card's another really good card. It makes your Charizard matchup and Chien-Pao matchup a lot better, right? Your Chien-Pao matchups at least 50-50, right? Charizard, you definitely losing. Right, it's more so a losing game, but you're able to bring that a little bit closer to 50-50, right? It's probably more of like a 60-40 in their favor right now, right? Because there are definitely ways that you can win and beat Charizard. But yeah, that's the trainer line. So now we're going to get into the energies, and the energies are really cool. I think that this is the perfect combination of energy for the deck, right? I don't think you want to play any more. And we have should be 13 lightning, 5, 5, and then 3. Yeah, 13 lightning, and then 2 double turbo, right? You know, this 15 energy, 13, I think it gives you the right combination with the generators, the generators, and then the double turbo. It just makes it a lot easier to attack with Iron Hands, and then Mew EX's genome hacking, as well as Regieleki VMax, right? You're able to attack with that. Not that card. This card, right? Max Thunder and Lightning, right? You're able to hit that 200 damage there, so that's pretty good, right? And yeah, that is the deck. It's a little bit longer, but I think that this here is the best Miraidon Regieleki deck out there. Pardon me, best version of Miraidon out there, and that is with Regieleki. All right, yeah, give it a try. Let me know what you think. Right, it's a lot of fun. Right, I basically go into any matchup, you know, thinking it's winnable. Charizard's a little bit more tougher, but you know, I definitely think it's winnable as well. So, but yeah, there you go, everybody. Been playing this for 2 months, and hope you all enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Give it a try. Go take it to your local league and try it. And yeah, once again, thank you so much, everybody. And you know, don't forget that usual stuff. You know, like the video, subscribe, you know, share it with your friends, all that stuff, right? And yeah, there you go. So thank you so much, everybody, and once again, see you in the next video.